I wanted to help those who don't really have any background in Talmud understand a little bit how the Talmudic mind works. And I want to use the example of lighting Chanukah candles because a lot of Jews are familiar with that. Now, first of all, just some very basics. The Talmud has two parts: the Mishnah, which is Hebrew, which was written down in 220, and it has over 60 different tractates, they're called, and they're divided into 6 orders called seders. Now, of these 60 plus tractates, 30 plus have Gomorrah on them, which is Aramaic discussion by the rabbis after the Mishnah until about 500, and it occurred in 2 places: in Babylonia, where a significant Jewish community existed, and great Talmudic academies, and in Israel. The Babylonian one is the one we actually call the Talmud, the Babylonian Talmud. Now, there is a tractate called Shabbat, and on page 21b it has a discussion about lighting candles for Chanukah. I know there is no tractate on Chanukah. So here's what they said. Number 1, first position is each person each day kindles 1 light for himself and his family. Just 1, not 8. You light 1 candle for your whole family for every day. That was 1 position. Now the second position, they say the Mehadrin, who are the more pious ones, they would light 1 for each person in the family. Let's say you had a husband, wife, and 3 kids. You'd light 5 candles every day of Hanukkah. Now, I grew up with my mother lighting 5 Shabbat candles every week, and the tradition probably came from this idea because she had a Shabbat candelabra from one of her grandmothers from Russia that had 5 spots on it, and it happened to be that we had 5 in our family, 3 kids and 2 adults. Now, position number 3, and this is more uninteresting in terms of what our practice is today. It says the Mehadrin, the super pious, adjust the number of lights daily. Okay, so now there are 2 positions. First is Beit Shammai. Now the major antagonists, protagonists, combative scholars in the Mishnah are Hillo and Shammai, and their schools of students of thought are called Beit Hillel, the house of Hillel, and the house of Shammai. So this page in the Talmud says that the Beit Shammai says on the first day of Hanukkah you light 8 candles, and then you light 1 less every day. So the second night you'd light 7, then 6. Now, you know we don't do that today, but if you think about it, the way we light the menorah is that direction. That the first day we put the candle on the far right, the second day we add the new candle to the left of the far right, and we start lighting the newest candle first. So we're lighting them in Shammai's direction, even though we don't do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Now, there are a couple of reasons that are given by his students as to why he had this position. The first is that it corresponds with the holiday's remaining days. In other words, if you light 8 the first day, it means you got 8 days of Hanukkah left. You light 7 the next day, it means you got 7 left. Which, if you think about it, that would be how many days left of this miracle of the oil. Now, the second position is a little more complicated. He says this follows the pattern of the bulls sacrificed on Sukkot. Now, before I get into that, let me just explain that there's a great link between Sukkot and Hanukkah. Sukkot is about 2 months before Hanukkah. When the Jews got to the Sukkot that year in 165 BCE, they realized they wouldn't be able to celebrate Sukkot in the temple because it was still in the hands of the Syrian Greek army, and it was desecrated. So when they finally, on the 25th of Kislev, had defeated the Greek-Syrian army, drove them out of Israel, and got into the temple, they could, again, celebrate Sukkot. And the book of Maccabees, which is not in our Bible, the Jewish Bible, but it's in the Apocrypha, which are books written by Jews about Jews, is that the Sukkot holiday was then celebrated according to the book of Maccabees. They marched around with lulav and etrog, and they chanted Hallel for 8 days, like Hanukkah. So that's why Hanukkah really is 8 days, probably because they were celebrating Sukkot again. Now, in the Torah, on the Sukkot holiday, the maftir reading is that we sacrifice 13 bulls the first day, then 12, then 11, then 10, then 9. Every day we decrease by 1. So the total number of bulls sacrificed on Sukkot is 70, and that equals the number of nations in the world that we're responding to. And so, Shammai was using that logic. Since we decrease one bowl every day, we should light one candleless every day. Now, Hillo school, Beit Hillo, has a very different idea. They said on the first day we light one candle and then we increase the number by one each day, which is what we do today. Now, there were a couple reasons given for this. One is it corresponds with the holiday's outgoing days. Instead of remaining days, you know how many days you're outgoing. You light one on the first day because you have one day of Hanukkah. Secondly, he says it follows the principle we elevate in matters of sanctity and don't downgrade. You may know that when we do the Amid and we say holy, 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 kadosh, 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 we go up a little bit higher on the sole of our foot each time, because in Judaism we're supposed to always be elevating holiness, not decreasing it, and Hillo is expressing that through the lighting of candles. We elevate holiness, we add one more candle rather than decrease it. I hope this is a little exercise in the Talmudic mind, how it works, and sort of what you can find in a Talmudic argument.